What's going on, guys? It's Mike, and today we're going to talk M&Ms. Now, I don't want to talk M&Ms, but I have to talk M&Ms because there's this whole scandal about M&Ms and the Spokescandies and Maya Rudolph. And quite frankly, I don't want to talk about it because the whole thing is BS. And I decided I'm going to make a video on why this is BS. This is the biggest load of BS. So right now, everybody has been pretty upset online because M&Ms, the Mars Corporation, came out and said, hey, we're going to retire our Spokescandies because we've caused some controversy amongst our community of people that love us. And we're going to retire them for a little while, and Maya Rudolph's going to take over. Let me read you the message that came out on January 23rd on Twitter. America, let's talk. In the last year, we've made some changes to our beloved Spokescandies. We weren't sure if anyone would even notice, but we definitely didn't think it would break the internet. I don't think you broke the internet, quite frankly. I don't even think you came close. You got one news cycle of people making noise about this a year ago. But now we get it. Even a candy's shoes can be polarizing, which was the last thing M&Ms wanted since we're all about bringing people together. Therefore, we have decided to take an indefinite pause from the Spokescandies. In their place, we are proud to introduce a spokesperson America can agree on, the beloved Maya Rudolph. M&Ms, what a blessing to the world. Yeah. All right. So here's the thing that came out. Now they're referencing like a year ago, they changed a couple things with the Spokescandies. The green M&M had these thigh-high sexy boots that she would wear. She was a very sexy, sultry candy. And word on the street is that green candy has that sexiness because back in the 70s, there was an urban legend that the green M&M was an aphrodisiac. So there was this idea that the green M&M was an aphrodisiac. They kind of sexied up the Spokescandy. All right, well, last year they came out and said, well, no, we can't make women a sex object. They've got to be assertive and powerful and whatnot. And so they gave her some sneakers to make her more practical. Okay, big deal. Tucker Carlson came out. Oh my gosh, he had a whole segment on it. A bunch of people went nuts. And quite frankly, they got one news cycle of noise. That's what you get because the news cycle is always hungry for something to talk about. Tucker moved on. Everybody else moved on. No one's been thinking about the M&M's candies. No one's been upset about it. They didn't break the internet. No one really cares that much. Okay, so they jump out now almost a year later and they go, oh my gosh, and we got to retire these guys. We didn't mean to divide anybody. We want to be inclusive and bring everyone together. And so we've hired Maya. Now here, let's talk for a moment about M&Ms. There's something you got to understand about the candy to understand why this whole thing is BS. Now M&Ms started in the early 40s, and it was based on a concept that was developed during the Spanish Civil War. You see, in Spain, the climate is warm. In fact, I've been there, and Spain is gorgeous. I mean, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful country, beautiful climate. And chocolate melts. And so what they would do is they would sugar coat their chocolate. They would create a hard sugar coating on their chocolate, and that would protect it from melting and getting all over. This was during the Spanish Civil War. All right, so a guy named Forrest Mars Sr., he's the son of the founder of Mars. The founder of Mars is Frank Mars. His son, Forrest Sr., partnered with somebody over at Hershey's chocolate, and they came up with the M&M. Hershey supplied the chocolate. Mars did all the rest of the manufacturing and marketing, and the M&M was born. Okay, hence we get the melt in your mouth, not in your hands. Here's what you need to know about the Mars candy for this to start to make sense. If you look at the ingredient list of a Mars M&M, what you find is essentially a low-quality milk chocolate wrapped in some sugar with a little bit of red dye number 40 on it. And that's it. That's an M&M. But the thing about the M&M, besides being mediocre and low-quality candy, is it's safe. It's safe. The M&M candy is safe. If you have a bunch of friends coming over and you throw a bunch of M&Ms in a bowl, not anyone is going to look askance at that bowl and say, oh, I understand that Mike put out the cheap quality. No, people love M&Ms. They're ubiquitous and they are innocuous. They're everywhere and no one thinks twice about them. They're just welcome. So the thing about the M&M, it's low quality. It's not high quality. It's not anything beautiful. It's not anything great. At the same time, it's very safe and they're highly successful. M&Ms, billion-dollar brand, easy. I mean, M&Ms have been around forever. Okay, let's move now to Maya Rudolph. Maya Rudolph was a comedian, an actress, a singer, etc. And she's now going to be the spokesperson. And I think there's something really interesting about these two things, the Candy and Maya. If you look at Maya's career, she's been in a ton of movies. She was a Saturday Night Live person not too long ago. She does a ton of voiceover work for cartoons and live action animations and so on. She's done some singing. I mean, Maya's got quite a career. It's quite a career. She's very successful. If you look at Maya, like the M&M's Candy, she's very successful. She's got her own production company, and she's everywhere. But the other thing about Maya is she is also kind of low quality. And this isn't, I don't mean as a human being, but like her work is not great work. There's no artistry. There's no depth of creativity. You look at Maya's work, and it's just kind of mediocre. It's mediocre. It's kind of like the M&M ingredient list. I'm not trying to attack Maya. I think she seems like a decent person. Her mother was a singer-songwriter famous for the 70s huge hit called Loving You. I can't play it for you. I'll get copy struck. But check that one out. It's a classic. I grew up with it on the radio. Her mother wrote that. Sadly, her mother died in her 30s. So Maya was just a kid when her mom died. Tragic. And her father was a composer. They were in the entertainment industry. Maya kind of grew up in it in the LA scene, even though she was born in Florida, but they moved to LA. And so the thing is, Maya is just like the Candy. I mean, she's kind of like mediocre. Not very high quality components make up her career. At the same time, highly successful and super safe. She's kind of like the female Jay Leno. You hire Maya. She's been a spokesperson for Seventh Generation cleaning products, and she's been a spokesperson for some other stuff. Like Maya's just this kind of corporate safe bet, and I feel like that's similar to the M&M. So you've got this product that is mediocre quality product. It's safe, highly successful. You've got this comedian, and I think as a human being and a mother, I'm sure she's wonderful. But if you look at her work is mediocre. It's made up of low quality ingredients. It's safe, and she's highly successful. And so you bring these two things together. Now, here's why this whole thing is BS. This whole thing is BS because this is a pseudo event. This is not a real event. This is what marketing people do. If you go back to Daniel Bornstein's book, The Image, written in 1961, or at least published in 1961, Bornstein makes the argument that our society is becoming overwhelmed, and this is back in 61, with pseudo events, pseudo news, pseudo people, meaning that these things are fake. They're manufactured. Back in the old days, when a ship sunk, that was real news. When a war broke out, that was real news. When something real happened, that was news. These were acts of God. These were situations that had impact on a society, a community, or the world. But what we see now are these pseudo events where PR teams and marketing teams and news teams create something out of nothing. They do press releases. They do this big announcement. There's a change. We have to have a panel of experts. We'll have a parade. We do all these. We just manufacture these events so that we can fill that news machine, that hopper, the feeder that just pours out the news. And what they've done is they have been pretty savvy here at M&M they've at Mars, and they've done this before. They have a history of understanding how to maximize their dollar. They've done stunts before. They've done product placements before. They've done really savvy kind of events to get coverage and news. They've taken some colors off. They've added other colors. They do these things to give themselves publicity. This is all for the buck. So what they've done, they're leading up to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is going to be happening. Word on the street is they've purchased some time, and they're going to be rolling out a Super Bowl commercial. So what better thing to do is to look back a year, kind of take advantage of the noise that Tucker Carlson made about them, get their agent to work with Maya Rudolph's agent, strike up some kind of deal, and get Maya to be the spokesperson for a period of time just to kind of create some hype and news and noise and coverage and attention as they lead into the Super Bowl. Now, you watched during the Super Bowl. There'll be a Super Bowl ad. I don't know that they're going to be done with Maya immediately, but there's going to be this. Those Spokescandies are worth billions for this company. Honestly, they're not funny. They're not that great. I hate M&M commercials. They're so boring, and the humor is so on the nose. It's not. But that's the Candy, and that's America, I guess, right? We love that crap. I think you're going to see the Spokescandies cycle back in pretty quickly. In fact, during the Super Bowl ad, they'll find some way to kind of play off that. It won't just be Maya. They'll transition those Spokescandies back in, and the world will go back to the way it was. Maya will be on the scene for a while, but she is not going to be the long-term spokesperson for M&M candies. They'll do some stuff with her. They might do some spin-off stuff that might integrate her back in with the characters for a while. Like, she'll be around, but she's not going to become the spokesperson. This is a temporary thing to get attention leading up to their spend at the Super Bowl. They're trying to maximize their dollars. So people like me and others will get on the YouTube videos, will get on news channels and podcasts and talk about this. And this is why I said I didn't want to talk about it. I don't want to help them in their shtick. I'm not a big fan of the Mars Corporation. They stripped Uncle Ben. Now it's just Ben's Rice. They own Ben. They own a ton of food product brands. So they love taking advantage of the whole woke social justice movement to make a buck. And this is just a ploy to make a buck. Hey, kudos to them. I respect them as a marketer to say, hey, they're smart about how they're going about this. But this whole thing is BS. And the outrage is just, you're just falling for it. If you're going to get outraged about what M&M's does, you're falling for it. Quite frankly, why are you even buying and eating that candy? It's crap. There's so much fine chocolate out there, so many good candies, high quality, that why would you sit with M&Ms? But again, they're ubiquitous, they're innocuous. It's just part of our blood. So guys, that's my take on it. What do you think? Do me a favor, leave a comment down below. And if you want to explore this a little bit more, I'm breaking out one aspect of this in my paid newsletter. Broadside is $10 a month, comes out once a week. This Tuesday, and if you miss Tuesday, you get access to the past issues. I publish them all, only available for my subscribers. But I'm unpacking this concept of consumer society and how we invest our identity into these brands and how we try to get our identity out of these consumer brands. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. I'll leave a link down in the description below. It's mikegastin.com/get broadside. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. Glad to have you guys along. Loving each and every one of you. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.